If you've got a growing plot or you want to grow things in pots, these are just a few of the things you can do. You can grow broad beans. This particular variety called Agua Dulce is a hardy broad bean, and you can grow it over winter. And then you get a crop in the early summer. So it can be grown in a container, and there's a very good trellis fact sheet called Broad Beets. And it tells you about now, it's not too late, now getting the beans going in small pots and then transferring them into a larger pot in the garden or putting them out in your growing plots. So broad beans are fun, and they're a good source of energy if you're doing cooking as well. So that's a great crop to grow. You can grow garlic. So you can buy garlic in garden centres. Don't use the ones you just buy for cooking with, because they're often varieties which are more tender, come from different countries, and they probably aren't necessarily tested in case they've got any disease within them. So if you go to a garden centre, you'll see all sorts of different types of garlic if you like it. And that's a great fun thing to grow. You can grow it in pots. So you buy some bulbs and then you break them up into cloves of garlic. And that's what's going to grow and produce a new bulb next year. Again, if it's very cold, you can put them in a polytunnel or unheated greenhouse or in the garage. So you pop them up in a big-ish container. So when I say big, over 30 centimeters across diameter, in multi-purpose, peat-free multi-purpose compost. Plant them out. The details will obviously be on your pack, although there's a trellis fact sheet to use, so you can look at that. And then you bring them out in the spring from their protected environment, and then you can water regularly and feed. So you'll have them in the summer, and it's great fun to watch. And it's not taking too long to do. But also at this time of the year, you could be planting any fruit that you haven't got and you think would be nice to have. You can put small fruit trees, dwarf ones, or fruit like gooseberry or currants or blueberries in pots. Again, large pots, because they're going to stay in them for some years. And so those can be planted during the dormant season, which is autumn to spring, the time when they're not growing. And you can buy often bare roots, which are cheaper than ones that have been grown in pots. So you can add multi-purpose compost with some grit for drainage, put them in a sunny spot, make sure they don't dry out, and feed. And then you've got lovely fruit to use for all sorts of other things that you can do, and foods that you can make. So that's some things for the edible. If you've got plots in your garden that you have grown things and you've cleared them of you've harvested everything that was in them, rather than leaving your plots bare, you can buy something called green manure, which are seeds which you can sow now. And there are particular green manures for autumn and winter. So you sow the seeds, the plants grow. So it's a mixture of clover, ryegrass, mustard. They grow green, they cover the soil so you don't get so many weeds. And what you do in the spring or before they're flowering is you hack them down, dig it into the soil, and they rot down, and then they're adding nitrogen and so on into the soil. So it's something to think about if you've got a bigger area and you don't want to leave those bare plots. And you, as I say, you can buy the mixture of seeds in most garden centres without a problem at all.